never missing a moment. From the Michael Baisden Show.
Welcome back to the Michael Baisden Show, asking a question about why men have such a difficult time taking the women back. He's back on with us, Stephen James Dixon, Essence Magazine contributor, author, Men Don't Heal, We Ho. Boy, you're a troublemaker, Stephen. I mean, come on, man. We're putting the blog up on Baisden Live on Twitter and Facebook. So why won't men take the woman back when she cheats most of the time?
Man, what I found out through my research and talking to couples, men normally haven't seen, experienced, or observed someone being cheated on that was a male. And so we're just not prepared for that emotionally. In fact, I had a couple people reach out to me over the weekend since the article was published. And what was odd about it was men were contacting me saying, hey, my wife cheated on me and I'm really not happy and she's not cooking or stuff like that. They would add a bunch of things. Whereas women, if you cheat on your woman, that's all she cared about is the cheating thing. The men were just like almost ignoring it and glossing over it, like they really didn't want to dig into what happened. I would have to grab them and say, hey, man, let's talk about that cheating incident. Slow down.
Especially if you want it back. I mean, George and the other guy who just called, I take my hat off to him. He said if it was on me, then I want to talk about it. I mean, are men willing to admit that sometimes we drive our women into the arms of another man?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's hard. I was surprised when I heard the brothers say that earlier, too.
Yeah, me too.
I've always said that if my wife cheated on me sexually, that I would, go through counseling and try to work things out. If she cheated on me emotionally, I can't fix that. She can keep it moving on that.
But can't you fix both if you're the reason why she's not there emotionally? I mean, it's funny because most men feel opposite, right, George?
Yeah, absolutely. I think most men feel like if you did it physically, then that's a wrap.
Yeah, I think the emotional part of it is a little bit a tougher challenge to overcome because that means you put in some time, some energy, you're getting to know each other. It's staying power. They're sitting around fantasizing about each other.
That's true. I get that. Because the emotional stuff is what led to the sexual stuff.
Exactly. And as men, we can have sex without caring at all. Maybe the wife did that. I don't know. And I condone marriage. I'm a believer that marriage can work and we can rebuild and reshape and remold. And so for me, man, it's always tough when I see that because I know it's a hurdle to overcome.
The Podcast Extra. Exclusive content from The Michael Baisden Show. The Podcast Extra. Only on The Michael Baisden Show.
Welcome back to the podcast on The Michael Baisden Show. Troublemaker in the house, Stephen Dixon. Essence Magazine contributor, author, Men Don't Heal, We Ho.
Right.
I want to say that title again. Men Don't Heal, We Ho.
Wow.
Holla at me, man. I mean, what?
Man, hey, I was really, I didn't know what to say about the women that called in today and said that they would not take their man back. And what's funny about it, women don't admit to it, but I've had a number of women reach out to me and say, hey, my man cheated, I left immediately, and I regret it. I wish I would have tried to work it out. And that's some of the things that's going on in marriages, that people are just leaving marriages like they're really relationships. Like I'm counseling couples saying, do you think this is your boyfriend? Do you think this is your girlfriend? This is your husband.
Right.
This is your wife.
Right.
And people don't know what that title is anymore.
Everybody's bouncing. I mean, all these women who call in, where's Gene at? Is it Gene or John? How you doing?
It's Gene, Michael. How you doing?
Gene, me and Stephen Dixon and George hanging out on the podcast. And the women who are calling in, and I'll get your other question later, but I want to address this with you. All the women who are calling in are saying, one time the man cheats, he's bounced. That's not been my experience with women. Women have been very tolerant of my cheating in my past, and all the men that I know, the women have been tolerant. So I'm trying to figure out where all these women coming from who are saying, I'm out after the first time, because that's not the experience of most of the men that I know.
They only saying that until they see you with another girl, and then the forgiveness begins.
What?
It always happens to be, from my experience anyway. Not that you wanted to leave that first woman, but when they see you with another girl, jealousy sets in.
I don't know.
Niecy, are you listening to this, Niecy?
Of all the nice things you used to do.
Niecy's, John, Niecy want to call you out on that one.
I don't know.
Hey, Niecy.
Yes.
What's John
Go
talking
ahead,
about?
please.
What's John talking about?
It's just, I'm just telling you. I have taken him back, and this was my husband.
Mm-hmm.
This was my husband. I have taken him back, and it is almost guaranteed
he's going to do it again.
Will cheat again.
I just want to know whether or not you dismantle your whole relationship because a person cheats. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but I don't get it. I don't, and I'm with Steven on this. You're married to somebody. You got a commitment to somebody.
It's different.
And you leave because they have a sexual relationship with someone.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't know. The probability is that most people will cheat. That's male
That's a
or
fact.
female.
That's a fact, right.
And here in Kansas City, we just had this horrible situation go down. But this woman found her boo cheating with some other girl on 44th Street. And the next thing you know, she's dousing with gasoline.
Oh, my God. See, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't understand how you could just kill or try to even attempt to kill somebody just for cheating. But
I just think that.
That's just what they're doing here.
Let me go back to. Hold on for me, Nisi. Stephen, this is what I'm talking about. I just admitted for the first time in the history of this show that if my woman cheated on me and I loved her, there's no way I could dismiss her right away without finding out what happened.
Yeah, and that's what's difficult, too, is that I'm trying to explain to married couples that's one of the reasons why we're not building wealth, is that we are divorcing, we have to rebuild, we're losing our money, we're breaking up our savings, we're tearing down our 401ks, we have to sell houses now at a loss and things like that. And the couples that are staying together and fighting through it, it's tough. Marriage is the most difficult thing you'll ever do, bar none. It's easy. Everything else in life is easy compared to marriage. It's going to take a little bit more effort, a little bit more work. I don't believe that once a cheater, always a cheater. I think that we could be rehabilitated and get counseling for anything.
Or you could renegotiate your. Let me just say this, and this may be provocative for a lot of people to hear, and we're going to talk about it more on Thursday. Maybe you just need to renegotiate your relationship and stay together because, and we had this conversation last time you were on, Stephen, because your definition of marriage works for you, right?
Exactly.
Everybody has to customize their marriage, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%.
Now, I know you're a Christian and so is George, but if a couple has found a way for the woman to accept, and I mean truly accept that her man has another woman or sees other women or whatever, but it doesn't impact the household, and she's fine with that and they're able to stay together, who are we to say, no, you can't allow him to see anybody else and you do need the divorce? You would never tell a woman to leave a man, would you?
No, I never tell anybody to leave anybody. That's their personal business. How they do it is how they do it.
Got you. Good for you.
And it made me think about some more as I saw a lot of the feedback on Facebook. I wrote another article called On Behalf of the Men Who Have Cheated that I'm going to publish next week, where I'm talking to men and saying, okay, this is what went wrong. This is why I cheated. I didn't want to cheat. It's a stereotype that men just cheat just because they want other women or want other sex and things like that. It's some wives that's doing some things wrong that we can do differently, too. There's some things we can learn from marriage. So I'm looking forward to seeing the feedback on that next week.
I got Larry on. Larry, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Everything is everything. So do you take a woman back that you love? I guess I got to qualify it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Take a woman back that you love if you found out she cheated.
I think that if you define love as to what it's meant to be, I think you can. I think it takes a lot of, reevaluating yourself as to maybe what your part was in her stepping out. And
I take my hat off to every man. Every guy is saying that today. I commend you guys for that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Because sometimes it's on us.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of times when, us as men, we get caught up in trying to, be the lead in the family that you are lax in a lot of things at home.
Neglecting. Yep.
You don't give your woman, not just your wife, but your woman the attention that she needs as a woman.
Hey, Stephen, let me ask you this, Stephen and Larry, while I have you on. For a lot of the couples who fall out, who the other person cheats, the fact that they want to work it out, the fact that the woman's not ready to leave completely or the man is ready to leave completely says a ton to me. Even if she does cheat or he does cheat, if they say, look, let's work it out, why wouldn't you try to work it out? I don't get it.
Well, see, and
hold on for me, Larry. Let me get Stephen on that.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, we got to work harder in our marriages, man. People just leaving over anything they can come up with, and I'm trying to save the institution. It's an institution of marriage. Everything is an organization, a union, a unit, something that you have to be able to cooperate or work with other people. And our communication is bad. We don't know how to express. One of the things I found out with men that were cheating was they didn't know how to express to their woman, hey, this is what I need sexually. This is the quantity. This is the quality. This is the level of freakiness I need or whatever. Because when we're single, we just take what we want as men. If a woman's not pleasing me sexually, I just move on to the next woman. So then when we get married, we don't know how to communicate to a woman and say, hey, I need you to flip it over. I need you to run her. I need you to hold the ceiling fan. I need you to do all these different things. So we need that freak. I'm glad I got my wife, man. Don't let me get to.
So
I heard George talk about his wife. You need that freak. We need it. You know, so we got to be able to say to our wives exactly what we need. And when I talk to the husbands and they say that, and I go talk to the wives and say, hey, your husband told me he needed this, then the wife will say, hey, I'll do that. I didn't know.
Didn't know.
Right.
Afraid to ask. Hey, man, ladies and gentlemen, check out his book, Stephen James Dixon, Essence Magazine contributor, author, Men Don't Heal. We Ho wrote the article, Women You Bet Not Ever Cheat on Me. Check out, we got it blogged on Baisden Live on Twitter and Facebook. Coming back with more of your calls. You're listening to the podcast on the Michael Baisden Show.